Hello, this is Eddie from the Mavericks,
And this is Paul from the Mavericks.
and we're so happy to be here at the Tønder Festival.
Yes, we are. Many different styles get into us from old country to old rock and roll to newer stuff to blues to Latin music to Tejano music to everything. So we don't really limit ourselves. The only limitation is that we enjoy what we're playing and that we play what fits the song, what Raul's writing. So that's I came up with an idea of calling it non-genre for no genre. So that's the new genre, non-genre. I coined it here at the Tønder Festival. I don't know that we will foray into the rap world, but you never know.
You never can tell.
You never know.
We seem to be in a luxurious position after all these years to be able just to follow the musical muse wherever that goes. You know, I mean, if it happens to an opportunity for hip hop or that kind of thing to infuse in our music, then I think we'd probably be brave enough to go there. But I think it's only if the song tells us we need to probably do something like that. I can't imagine us doing that extreme. But over the years, as to add on to what Paul said, the way I look at it is the Mavericks have always been a moving musical art piece from one album's inspiration to the next. We always are trying to hit whatever it is that X marks the spot on the map for us is. And so genre really doesn't play into it anymore at this point for us. And nowadays with music, you have all kinds of genres coming together and crossing and making something new. So I think it's a really exciting time for music right now because it's in a moment of redefinition, not just the music, but also the business as well. So I think it warrants that. So if anything, it's like Paul said, I think that when I look at our music, I look at it as just being joyous. You know, I hope that that's what the audience comes away with. You know,
A good audience, I think, to me is one that allows the show to become what a Maverick show is really meant to be, which is we're on stage performing the music that our music and music that we love, and our main goal is to enjoy ourselves. It's a bit of a selfish goal, but it seems to work because it's infectious. So we put out an energy out into the crowd, and most all of the time, it goes out in the crowd and that energy comes back, that joy comes back. When it comes back, it becomes cyclical and exponential. And then there's a line blurred between band and audience. We're all in this experience together. I know that sounds a little hippy-dippy, but it really does. That's probably the most common thing, my favorite compliment that we get. And the most common compliment that we get is, you guys look like you're having a blast up there. And it was just so joyous to be part of that. And I'm like, that's exactly, one of the primary goals of why we do what we do. I mean, why else would you do it? I mean, not to travel.
Yeah, in a lot of ways, I feel like our energy is, at least what we've become known for, is having a bit of a party atmosphere to what we do. And I think that when people come to see us, I think they come to see us with that in mind. And so I think we're very fortunate in that sense, too, that we get, right off the bat, we get a bunch of people at our shows that are already open in their spirit. You don't go to a party with a bad mood. You go to a party because you want to have a great time. And I think that's what most people come to our shows with. And I think it feeds off of itself, audience and band. The best point to be at is right in the middle where we're all communicating. Whether it is us up on stage or them in the audience, there seems to be no barrier there. There seems to be just communion, And I think those are always the best shows. But we get to experience that a lot, we have a pretty good average when it comes to that. I mean, we do have a very
there was
a very willing and joyous audience. We really do. So we're very fortunate in that sense. It has to be fun. If it's not fun, then it's done. It's over with. And again, the music is what fuels it, but you have to really be behind it. It has to be something that you believe in. And the biggest part of this band is that I feel that we spread a lot of joy and we spread a lot of fun to people. And we have a really, we've been at this now for about 6.5 years now, and there's been a lot of personnel that have come and gone. but I feel right now at this moment in time we have all of
Perfect
it
crew.
working finally after all these years. I feel like we've got it right, and so but yeah,
Finally
but
got it tuned.
yeah, but if it's not fun and people are not feeling good about it within the organization, then that can be a problem, and that's really when it stops. So far we've found a way, I think, to come back together, to try to let go of some of the past situations, try to learn from it, and then just try to move forward with having just more fun. At this point, we've been doing this for so long. I feel like we're on the mountaintop of that in terms of fun and creativity and allowing ourselves to go with it. So hopefully it continues. It would be a drag if it didn't, but I'm having a great time right now, and I think we all are. So that's why it still continues.
I think it goes back to that connection that Eddie was talking about with the audience and performing. It's a great question, by the way, and one that you don't hear too often. What keeps you going in doing this? And it's performance is part ability and part connection and everything else. It's part sport. It's part everything. So you're showing off your skill, which is always wonderful. Something you've practiced all your life, and there is a place where this particular band gets to. Both Eddie and I have played with numerous different people, but for some reason with this band, just within the band, there's kind of a hive mind. So once it gets going and you have that going, it could be a jazz band where you're reaching a higher level of consciousness musically within each other, and that happens a lot with this band. And again, then when you put that out there and it comes back, then you're bringing people in. But even if it doesn't, we always have that, and that's a rare thing. That's why this particular band, I think, continues to perform, because I don't really see that going away. Even on a bad day, we're tired, the crowd isn't there, we still have that language within each other, that musical language that gets us to that place of like, okay, yeah, and you remember.
We see a lot of smiling faces coming back at us, and I always tell people, I think more than anything, I'm just addicted to the smiling faces. It's true.
That.